to go for it. And no matter how bad it is, you want to walk away and to be able to look at that and go, that was everything that I had. My friends helped push me through that, and I'm here for it.
And we just saw all of the crowds there in that great shot. Even, it's 9 o'clock, just after 9 o'clock local time here in Prague, and still the stands completely full for these first few races of the day. And we're already underway with these next races. This is the PR3 men's and PR3 II races. Now, PR3, as Peter just described, a different category here of para rowing where these athletes have much more functional use of the sliding seat, but you'll see lots of differing styles, and one on screen here, Hamad Alkanfar is just using one arm to propel that handle through to the body. So lots of different sort of ranges of movement, functionalities of movement, even within this PR3 category, where the sliding seat and the trunk can be used in order to kind of press the handle and to create and generate that speed. So great to see here all of these different techniques, these different styles, these different ranges of movement. But out there on the screen, that's Ben Gallagher of Great Britain. Certainly from the predicted times, he was one of the faster here, aiming for a time of 6:20. So let's keep eyes on Ben Gallagher, the ex-army athlete who's now looking to transition into power rowing. You're talking about the local support there, Shane. Vaclav there on screen will be trying to absorb that all in and make his way up the leaderboard as he's currently running in 9th.
And as you pointed out, as we're watching the different styles here, and one of the things that is important to call out is that in our PR categories, you will see different styles of rowing. There is no uniform categorization of injury or that has led you into your PR category. So it's important to note that you will see different rowing styles within each category. But I think that's also a testament to the ways in which this machine can be used. And I'll always bring that flavor to this, but it's really what makes this such a usable machine and allows it to be such a great environment for testing, is that no matter your use case, you can find a way to this, even in competition. And that really lays the groundwork for a fair and equal playing field that allows and welcomes all. There's Milan Lackovič, just a classic face in this PR category. He is always here, always making himself known. He always looks so cool when he walks out onto the floor. I mean, he's usually got a headband. I mean, he just brings this energy every time he shows up.
And currently running in a medal position, Shane. So hopefully we'll get to see that energy transferred all the way to the podium. But it's early days yet in this PR3 category, which is the race you can see developing here on the board. And look at this, just 1 meter separating Ben Gallagher and Marco Frank, the British athlete and the Italian athlete. Really nothing much to choose between them. But look at the difference in stroke rating. You can really see that they're approaching this so differently as we run into 1,000 meters gone. Ben Gallagher all the way up at 37 strokes a minute there, just starting to put a lid on it a little bit, perhaps getting a bit too excited for that finishing sprint too early. But a mere 3 meters back, Marco Frank is really putting the pressure on for that gold medal. But again, on the right hand side, Shane, maybe you can talk us through what the split times mean, which are those numbers that are 1 : something. What does that mean? What are we looking for? What is good in this regard?
Camilla, it's like we are two peas in the same pod here. You were exactly where I was going to go with this. So, as you're trying to understand what you're seeing on the screen here, we have a couple of things. Number one, we're seeing the boat and the boating number. That is the positioning of that athlete, the number in the actual boat. Next up, you've got the distance back from first. So if you see a little number that's constantly changing next to that boat, that is their distance back from first place. So you'll see that Ben Gallagher currently sitting boat 7. He is in first. Behind him, Marco Frank, 8 meters back. And finally, if we're looking at, well, not finally, let's look in that second to last category. That is their stroke rate, which is telling you how many strokes per minute each athlete is taking, followed by the split. That is that time that you were talking about there, Camilla. That is how long it takes each of those athletes to go 500 meters at that current output. Now, so what you're seeing is an every stroke change in their split, and that is how we reference speed. when we are watching indoor rowing. We are watching their speed. The lower that number goes, the faster the athlete is moving. So you're going to be able to see there as things change. It's also a good predictor. I don't know about you, Camille, but that's something that I'm watching when, especially when a race gets tight, like right now, Ben Gallagher, Marco Frank moving back and forth. And as we're looking at the PR3II category, we're also noticing that that split is going to help give some indication as to what may be happening, what may be changing as the race goes on. If you're seeing a split climb and go slower, there's a good chance that athlete might be moving back in the placements.
Yeah, it's consistency, isn't it? I guess through the majority of the race that you're looking for. You're right, of that kind of faster split time. You're right, kind of use that as a bit of a predictor. But we've got some really good races here on the cards, and it looks like we're going to have a great victory here for the Hungarian in this PR2. I PR3II category, the Hungarian Balázs Tots. But Ben Gallagher here leading out and actually building on that lead that he's had for the majority of this race. The Army veteran looking to build on what was a gold and silver medal at the British Indoor Rowing Championships, now moving up to the world stage, trying to clinch a gold medal on a global scale. But talking of global scale, we're tuning in now with some of those athletes that are racing from their hometowns, from their home gyms and locations. And look, we can see here that race still really quite tight in the grand scheme of things between Ben Gallagher and Marco Frank for that gold and silver medal. Marco in arena, same with Ben, both of them right there. But through the line, Ben Gallagher will take the gold here, 6:23.6 for Great Britain. It's then the Italian Marco Frank just a mere 3 seconds off for that silver medal. Milan Lackovič, you called it, Shane. What a cool customer who will be bronze medal the whole way down the track. No flinching, no flittering. He kept himself on the podium. But we'll see these results trickle in here. Florian Canole of France, Shane Ryan of Ireland, another competitor that we see year on year at these indoor championships, and a great finish there from all of these athletes in this category. We've still got a few to finish here, and we'll keep tabs on the rest of the leaderboard. But there is our winner, our gold medalist, Ben Gallagher, in the bottom right-hand side of your picture, who looks quietly pleased, Shane, but ultimately quite tired, I think.
If he wasn't, he wouldn't be doing it right. I think as we look at this too, it's also worth mentioning. Let's look at these finishing times here. 6:23.6. That's no laughing time. That is a fast time across all categories, and that is impressive. I mean, these times are cooking here, and so I think it's important to note, like, we're talking about real athletes here. They deserve the respect of looking at this as a very serious race and enjoying the racing that shows up here, because they're throwing down some times. These are fit athletes showing up to compete, and they are owning their categories.
And Shane, I think, all of them coming to indoor rowing in a slightly different way, whether that be through on water rowing, through just going to their gym every weekend and discovering the rowing machine. I think that it's this event is a real kind of landmark for a lot of those athletes in bringing them together from whatever sort of background they've come from, whatever training schedule they've come from. A great little nod there from Vilam Gurish, who finishes his race there in the PR3 men's category. Still lots of action going on in the stadium, and lots of local action, it seems. We've still got quite a number of Czech athletes that are being willed on by the volunteers there. You can see on Ergo number 28, lots of action going on still. And Filip Kunk of Czechia also now trying to press on Ergo number 14. And again, these volunteers that stand behind, they're there to kind of monitor and make sure everything goes to plan, and the technical setup is right, and the athletes are staying within the rules and following everything. But they're also great support because they're all local people mostly, Shane.
They are, and I'm looking here at this video of Ahmad Alkanfar, shoeless. I gotta wonder if those shoes accidentally got left in the machine, or if he had a friend nearby who was willing to take those shoes off for him. Something about rowing out of your shoes is a good comment about how hard these athletes are working. Sometimes you're just so worked here. There's one way out, and that is you leaving that machine and leaving everything else there, including your shoes. We've got one athlete left here. It looks like in our PR3II, Martin